Hey everyone, it's Brew Gaming here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. We're doing a guide for Maulie Tankard. She was the Oktoberfest Fusion Champion and is an amazing champion, guys, for the game. She's a great carry in all of the dungeons. She's a great carry for the potion dungeons. She can be a carry for the Nightmare campaign because of her skills. Let's look at the skills before we look at anything else. First off, we have Roast. Attacks one enemy, damage increases by 50% if the target is under an HP burn debuff. This is an okay attack. If you have an ally with you that applies an HP burn debuff, then she'll do an increased amount of damage. But what you want from Maulie is not the A1 damage. What you want is her A2 mostly. Places a provoke debuff on all enemies, so it's a 100% chance. Has a 50% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 2 turns instead, so it's even better for at the 50% chance. Places a 30% reflect damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. So not only she applies provoke on all enemies, but she also does a 30% reflect damage every time the enemies attack her because of provoke. She's also gonna attack them back and do that 30% reflect damage. Reduced the cooldown to 3 turns with 1 skill book. So that's great, just 1 skill book to get that cooldown reduction. And then we have Cheers. 6 turns can be reduced to 4 turns cooldown. I did not use any more books on her. I just wanted to do her A2 and her passive. We'll look at it later. So her A3 revives an ally with 50% HP and fills the turn meter by 50%. Places a block damage buff on that ally for 1 turn. So it's great in dungeon. If it happens for your carry damage dealer to die, then she will revive him at a 6 turn cooldown, which can be reduced to 4 turns. She will revive him, give him some turn meter to get an attack going on, but also place a block damage buff on him just in case the boss becomes sneaky a bit and then does a lot of damage on that champion, so it will block all the damage. And her passive, this is her passive. It's amazing both for dungeons but also for arena. I don't use her in arena current, but I'll show you one game probably later on how she fares in the arena. Fills the turn meters of all allies by 50% when this champion is hit, and 25% when this champion is hit by a boss. So she's not only great in the dungeons, not only great on boss fights, but also this is a 1 turn cooldown with just 1 skill book, so she gives a lot of turn meter when she's hit, and her skill set is about her getting hit all the time. Let's look at her artifacts. Because she's gonna apply that provoke, I went with a frost set. This is the frost set. 20% chance to place a freeze debuff on an attacker, so she's gonna get attacked, and 1 every 5 attacks, so the 20%, she's gonna apply a freeze debuff. What the freeze debuff does on the enemies, it basically freezes them. Like, it's like a stun, but it's not a stun. So it's not the same as the stun set. What the freeze debuff does is makes them lose their turn. They take 75% damage instead of 100% damage from you. So if you were gonna do 10,000 crit, now you would do a 7,500 crit instead on the frozen enemies. It makes the fight go longer, but at least it disables the enemies, so you have that instead. If you manage to apply a freeze on everyone, you're just gonna do reduced damage on them, but still they won't be able to take a turn. So basically her gear is this. It's a frost set and a speed set. I want her to be as fast as possible, so this is why I have a lot of speed on her. All of my items have speed. I try to get as much accuracy as possible, but also maximize her survivability. I could have better gloves, but these are the gloves I do have with frost and speed. She does not need critical rate and critical damage. Could use an HP percentage instead as her primary. Defense chest, this is great. I get some accuracy, some HP. No speed in this one. If I get more speed, that will be great. And then her boots are of course speed. And let's look at her overall stats right here. So her overall stats are 34,000 health, 3,000 defense. This can go higher if I want to. Speed 210. She's really fast just because of this, and can go even faster. Critical rate 30%, critical damage 104%. This is very high for her. She does not need it because you do not want her for the damage. And the important parts are resistance and accuracy depending on where you use her. If you're using her for arena, these two must be higher, along with speed as well. And the other stats are not that important, but still will be important especially in platinum tier. So let's look at her masteries. How I have her built right now, it's basically going this route down here. I get some resistance, the critical damage, defense, and I go up to this mastery. It's called Fearsome Presence, so it increases the chances of placing a stun, sleep, freeze, or provoke debuff from skills and artifacts by 5%. I don't need it for the provoke, obviously, because her is 100%, but this is the part I need. Because she has 20% from the artifacts, that extra 5% will make it 1 every 4 enemies attacks will freeze them. So this is a really strong mastery to have with her for the dungeon. She's a great carry. If you have a froze set on her or a provoke set, then this will be great. This is the best mastery you can have. Then I went down the support tree and got everything with accuracy, of course. I even got this one, has a 30% chance of increasing turn meter by 10% when a debuff cast by this champion is removed or expires. The provoke, if it's removed, she's gonna have a chance to get a turn meter back. I took Lore of Steel because I didn't know where I was gonna use her, if I would use her mainly for arena as well. If I use her for arena, she would get more speed naturally, so this would be more beneficial to her. So right now this is not as beneficial as I would want to. I just get +2 speed because of this. I could change her masteries, but for the time being, I am using this. You could go for Evil Eye. This is great for arena. It's great for dungeons. It's great everywhere. This is a great alternative to this one. If you need more speed, if you need more stats from your gear, you can go for this. But this is the great alternative to her. Of course, Cycle of Magic has a 5% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random skill by 1 turn at the start of every turn. This is great again. 5% chance. It's 1 every 20. But still, it's great when it happens. And I didn't know what to get from the bottom of the support tree. I just got this Lasting Gifts. That's a chance for the reflect buff that she gives herself to extend by 1 turn. It's not important. There's nothing really great from her other skills. You could argue for Spirit Haste because in the case an ally dies, you want her to get more speed and then get her revive going. This will not always be the case. Not every fight your allies will die. So this is the next best alternative. Sniper has no use for her. The same thing with Master Hexer because it will not extend her provoke debuffs. So these two are not useful, but this one and this one could be argued which one is better depending on the circumstances that you use her. Let's go and look at her, especially in the dungeons. In the dragon, where she's really strong at, it's the dungeon waves. She's not that strong in the fight itself for the boss fight, but you have your other team to worry about that. Well, as you can see now, I've provoked every single one of the enemies. Look at the provoke debuffs on them, so they will not attack any of my other guys. Because Royal Guard is really squishy, he would die if he got attacked. Maulie being here, she has the provoke debuff on all enemies, and she also has I'm getting attacked a lot. And she also has Apothecary to help her. I'm getting a lot of lag. Okay. So she also has Apothecary to help her. She heals her up. She gets attacked and heals her up. So they are a great combination to have in the dungeons. Apothecary is a rare. She's one of the best rares in the game. And look at her. Look at her health. She's low. Apothecary will help her because he has a lot of speed again. So him and Maulie are great carries. And then, of course, Razin, he's a fusion champion. Royal Guard can be replaced by something else, depending what you have. It's going to make the fight go a bit longer. But Royal Guard helps a lot with finishing the dungeons much faster. So, there we go. She's going to apply her provoke soon enough. Yeah, 5 provoke on all enemies. So, she's going to get all the attacks. These guys hit for a lot of damage, so... Whoa, she's almost gonna die. Okay, she got healed up, so... This is why I want more survivability on her. I want more from her gloves. If I can manage to get gloves with HP percentage or defense, that will be great for her. So my dragon team, it's basically Althar that's killing the dragon. I don't really need Royal Guard, but it's Althar that does all the damage on the dragon because of his poison. Royal Guard is really squishy, so if he gets 1 or 2 attacks from the dungeon waves or the boss, he dies. So this is why Maulie is really important for this setup, because she can revive him. What Royal Guard is, he basically uses his A2. That's the one that makes all the damage. I do not have War Master on him. I have critical damage. So a bit under 3 minutes to kill 2 waves. So now it's the dragon fight. Maulie is not useful at all here. She's useful only for giving turn meter to your allies because of her passive. Her passive gives to all your allies 25% turn meter when they get when she gets hit by a boss. So she's gonna get hit now, and she gave turn meter to everyone. Even if some of them die, I still can carry through the dragon fight because of Althar and Royal Guard. There you see both of them died, but still I can finish off the dragon just with these two. They won't die usually, but in the cases that they die, I don't really mind because Apothecary and Althar can carry through the dragon. Sometimes even Althar can solo the dragon. We got a 6-star legendary, guys, just for the video, just for you. Let's see, what do we get? A defense shield, defensive primary, it's always the case. HP, defense, critical rate, HP. A stalwart is great. It could be argued that I would need some speed for this instead of flat HP, but still I think this is a great piece of gear if you want a defensive champion. This was Maulie Tankard's guide for the dungeons. What do you think about this video? Leave a like down below, comment on your Maulie and how you build her up differently than me. I can have a different perspective. Maybe I can change her skills and masteries to something better. And of course, my item sets, what do you guys use? As you can see, I focus on accuracy and speed just because I want that dungeon clears to be much more efficient, get that provoke down. So subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.